Welcome to Sweeping the Country one more time. I'm your host, Derek Walker, alongside my co-host, Mr. Jimmy Carter. And Jimmy, a world traveler over the long weekend.
Welcome to summer.
And yeah, no
We're
doubt.
summer. Memorial Day is, I don't think it's not technically the meteorological start of summer.
Yeah.
But it's the start of summer.
Yeah, it is.
And, Labor Day is pretty much the end of summer.
Yeah, you're right.
And let me tell you, I don't know when COVID began and when it ended or whatever, or I just don't, I think it's changed the country in a lot of ways.
I agree.
I know people didn't travel and a lot of other things went on during that time, but I went out. I said, okay, I got to go.
Yeah.
So I haven't been to my favorite. When I was a child, we were taken to Panama City Beach, Florida.
Oh, yeah.
So
beautiful.
This is the 50s.
Yeah.
And it was very primitive back in then. They had cottages, they're made out of brick or blocks or something, right there on the water with screen porches. And there weren't any big hotels or anything like that. So obviously now it looks like Miami Beach.
Sure.
There and all along Northwest Florida and everywhere else you go. So and I've seen that all happening. So went down there, and first of all, I knew that every hotel that I've been to in the past year has gone up in price. What used to be 150 is now 190. What used to be 130 is about 175. And what they don't tell you is the tax has increased or whatever. So you're paying, and I expected it. I didn't want to stay on the water.
Yeah.
Couldn't afford it because it was a last minute trip. Couldn't afford it anyway. Any water facing room was minimum $600 or $700, as much as $1,000 a night in a place that used to have $35 rooms and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just gone crazy.
Yeah.
And so what my trick is when I go to these places, because I'd love to look at the water all the time, but it's kind of like Vegas. You don't need to be spending all your money on a room when you go to Vegas, because you're not spending that much time in your room. Or if you are, something is theoretically bad.
Yeah, you're not. You're out seeing the sights. That's what
you're doing whatever you're doing. You're coming to crash, and you wake up and you go again.
Yeah.
So down in Panama City, for example, and this would fit for anywhere, if you're not going to just be in the water all the time and have to be in the swimming pool or stuff like that, which I'm long past that, and I'm going down there.
Come on, Jimmy. I heard you look great in a thong.
It's not a matter of looking. I just don't care about doing it anymore. I'm going to the dermatologist tomorrow for something that probably got done in the 50s.
Will you be able to get back in the Speedo? That's the question.
Yeah, I don't like doing that Speedo thing.
So anyway, so if you're going to be by the pool, you're not in the room.
These rooms, what the trick is, when you go into a city like Nashville or anywhere else, try to stay in the weekend where the people are not, like an office park.
Yeah, okay.
An area like that is going to be full during the week.
Like you're talking about like a Hampton Inn or something that's tucked away in
Hilton Garden Inn, but any of them that are near a major office park, or even in some cases a downtown location.
So a business trip hotel.
There's no play where the business people are not at that time.
Okay.
So that's what it is. So the cheapest room, even in this place, was with tax. I just got my bill $230 or something like that a night.
That's really not that bad.
I paid $230 a night. No, it is bad. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is. Really is. I agree.
So for 2 nights with eating and everything, we didn't eat but say breakfast. The whole thing with tax and the county tax and everything else was like $500 and something for 2 nights.
Yeah, boy, and throw your gas.
Nights.
Now you drove,
so
right?
We went and had a great meal at this one place I go to, seafood place, and it was 100 for 2 people, was 180.
Well, if it's nice,
that's a big meal. I had the seafood platter.
Yeah,
I ate like I was a condemned man.
Okay.
Because it's one of my favorite places in the world to eat. 2 drinks, and dessert, and the whole deal.
Love it. Yeah.
So we're already now. You're at 550 plus 180. My gas was at least
700,
120. For the whole. We're almost for a little nothing trip to Florida, just because we're close.
Yeah.
If you drive straight, it's 4 hours.
That's not
4
bad.
hours.
No, that's not.
No, it's nothing. Really nothing. and
but you're
it's
out of
cost almost
grand.
$1,000.
Yeah, you're out of
Almost
grand.
$1,000. All right, I made good money. We all get a little money in this house.
Yeah,
but I'm seeing people that I know don't make that kind of money, and I just don't. And they're in everything. They're eating. Where did all these people? And you look up there when you have these stories about people fighting on airplanes
yeah.
at the airport and everything. Where did everybody, and people say, well, the government's giving it to them. I'm not buying that, because the government, I don't think they're handing out welfare, but they're not giving out stimulus anymore. And people long since have spent their stimulus money.
I
But
think
where are all these people getting their money to travel like this?
I think it's debt load, Jimmy. I think it's debt load.
You
I
think
mean,
they're running up credit cards?
I do. I think they're running up credit
I
cards.
think you maybe that may be the best theory, because
Yeah.
I've heard that there are debt in this country of that kind of, what they call it, consumer debt.
Yeah, and it's
Is
all-time
at a
high.
very high level.
Yes,
right?
it is. Yes,
and that's
it
what
is.
they're doing. So that must be the answer.
Yeah.
They're somehow running up credit.
And you get a card. You get a card. I mean, back when I was in my 20s, I lived like that. You would get a card. You'd run it up to $5,000, right? And then
Right.
you'd get a letter in the mail and say, "Hey, would you like to apply for a Chase Visa?" And then you go, "Well, yeah, sure." And you could transfer your balance right now, 0% interest for 6 months. So you transfer it. But then at the end of 6 months, it goes to 20%, right? So they're glad to have your debt. They'll take it. But now you got 5,000 on your old card that's paid off, so you can go ahead and run that up. Now you owe 10 grand. And you get another card in the mail. At some point, you got to pay the piper. Now, I don't know if they do or they file bankruptcy.
Well, they hadn't gotten there yet.
They haven't arrived.
They probably hadn't gotten there yet.
Yeah, you're right.
But
you're right.
I'm
100%.
telling you, it's just amazing to me.
Yeah.
You're looking around, saying, that you can tell by the clothes. Not to be an asshole, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Looking at the clothes and just how they're dressed and everything like that, you're saying, good Lord.
Yeah.
This is not the Waldorf Astoria.
Yeah, right.
And it's still very expensive.
You
look at these other places, and they're still boiling out of those places.
Yeah, you reminded me.
That are $800 a night.
We were talking. We watched the F1 series over the weekend, which was in Monaco, which is beautiful, right? I mean, that's a whole nother level of money there. And my wife, just to show how thrifty or cheap, however you want to describe her, when she went to school in England, she went to a place called Newbold Academy. When they went there, all the girls decided to quit going to school for a semester and just go Eurail pass and go see all of Europe. So they did that, and they planned their trip. So this is how cheap they were, so that the train travel was at night, so they could sleep on the train. And they never got a hotel. So fast forward when they get to Monaco, right? And she said she got off the train. They walked through downtown, and she knew right then she did not belong. She had, a backpack on her back, and she was seeing things she's never seen before in Monaco. So, yeah, sometimes you can tell. I mean, she obviously did not fit in, didn't have the money to stay in Monaco, and did not stay in Monaco. They left, same day. So, yeah, I mean, that's cheap. But to travel or do anything is so expensive now. My kids talk about going somewhere like Hawaii for Thanksgiving, and I'm thinking that's $10,000 if I'm lucky. $10,000, and there's no way I can't do it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
and that's why it's kept me from going. I'm looking at these hotels I used to stay in Los Angeles, and what they've gone up to, and this can't sustain.
Right.
I just don't think this can sustain. Got a story here that was in, what was this in? It was in the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah.
Why you're losing more to casinos on the Las Vegas Strip.
Okay.
They have changed the minimums, which I haven't been there. I hadn't been there in 4 or 5 years.
I haven't been there.
They've changed the minimums at the tables, like to 25 and stuff like that.
Yeah, gotcha.
And then they've also changed the payouts, and they've added, for those of you roulette fans out there, they've added they've got a 0.
Yep.
And a double 0.
Mm-hmm.
Now they've added a 000.
Oh, that wasn't there last time I was there.
Their favor.
Yeah, that was.
But see, that was what I used to bet on. Was that
the green zeros?
But 3 zeros you can't bet on. That's pretty hard to do.
That's interesting.
So they're winning. It's just unbelievable. Blackjack, something. So the stats. Las Vegas is really, they went through rough time with COVID.
Sure. Yeah. So they got to get it back.
Player losses of blackjack on the Vegas Strip now up to $1 billion.
Wow.
In the last year.
Wow, that's crazy.
Pandemic revenue by more than 25%. It's up 25%. Tourists spent still record-setting levels in 2019 and 2020.
So where are they getting that? I mean, you're right. Where are they getting even that? I mean,
people got quick answers that the government's giving. No, I don't think so. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
something this no.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're getting some money if you got double children and this and that, but no, that's not what I'm
It's
seeing.
not
I'm
significant enough. What
I'm not
about
seeing women with babies on their hip, going
right,
out here
right?
and doing stuff.
What if they're racking up debt in anticipation of their
But
real
I
estate?
like the racking up debt
Yeah.
theory. That's probably
And what if
it
they
has to be the answer.
and what if they're thinking that they're gonna fix it all when they sell their house, which is 3 times what they paid for it, right?
No,
And
they probably figured out we're just not going to pay it at all. Don't worry about it.
maybe we'll bankrupt. Yeah, we'll be
We'll bankrupt, or we're just. If I don't have anything, so you can't get anything.
I hope that's bad. I hope that's.
And then
not.
here's another story: 3 Amazon delivery drivers, including an Iraq War vet, sue Amazon after claiming they were forced to pee in bottles and poo in dog waste bags to keep up the delivery pace.
What?
They don't give them time to go to the bathroom.
Oh, come on!
I have heard that.
Well, then they better put toilets in the trucks.
Employees in human working conditions, extreme measures to make sure they didn't face disciplinary action for falling behind on the deliveries.
Wow. It makes me not want to shop there just so those people don't have to work so hard. But I know that's not how that works.
Nope, it's not how that works. And here's another story since we're doing. I don't know what that had to do with anything, but that just
but it's awful. I mean, it's awful.
I said, even as a radio person or a news person or something like that, if you're out in the world, that is one of the bigger problems that you have. Let's say
that's true.
Let's say you're a morning reporter and photographer.
Yeah.
Going out in any town, USA, and you're out at the racetrack doing some live shot.
What do you do?
Show.
Yeah.
There are no toilets there. So you just have to hold it. Now, for the guys, it's a little easier to do part of this.
Agree.
Because we're like nature people anyway.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
It's harder to do one of the other deals.
Yeah.
But that's a big problem. Try to find a toilet. One thing that's getting better. There's a thing called Buc-ee's that's out of Texas.
I've heard of that. Yeah, like a truck stop.
They refuse to let trucks even in the driveway.
Oh, really?
Actually,
okay.
They have like 100 pumps. They have the cleanest bathrooms. That's where they advertise.
Oh, they sell it, man.
It's like a super steroid 7-Eleven.
Well, that's great. Yeah. Okay. So you go in there.
Super duper.
Yeah. So if you're traveling,
that's what they're doing. But try to find a toilet.
Yeah.
Today, it's a little easier because of those places.
Mm-hmm.
But
no, it's tough.
And I went to a federal toilet the other day.
What is a federal toilet?
National Wildlife Reserve.
Of one of those
now,
vault
I thought
toilets?
That might be a little rough, with the pine chip toilet paper and stuff like that. But I've been to some of those, that are really like they're bad. This had the best toilet paper. Wonderful
really good quality.
Yeah, it was the St. Mark's National Wildlife Reserve, south of Tallahassee.
I love it. Hats off.
So that was really.
I have been traveling through Hell's Canyon, which is on 95. There's a lot of jet boat tours and river rafting that goes on in that section of the country, and we were driving. We were in a construction zone, backed up in the middle of nowhere, 100 cars deep, and started to hit me, and I needed a bathroom really bad. So I got out of the car and I walked about 100 yards to the construction outhouse. And
went to the construction toilet.
I said, I'm so sorry, you guys. And they're like, no, go ahead. And I used it.
You got to go right now.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's an issue when you travel.
It is. In
the car, because a lot of these places are really horrible.
The only thing I think of, remember
really, really horrible.
You remember that lady, Jimmy, that was in love with some astronaut? She went coast to coast in her car.
Oh yeah,
and she wore a diaper. She put on a diaper. Maybe that's how we go. Now. I mean, and if you're traveling with somebody, that might be bad. But if you're solo,
I can't do that. But I mean, I'm sure I didn't even like it when I was
a baby.
One. I don't think I liked it. This is a nightmare for me.
Yeah.
You're on a Carnival cruise line.
I like that so far.
And they're out, in the water, reasonably far. Oh, let's see how far they were. There was a tropical event. That hit the Carolinas over the weekend. It delayed stock car race and NASCAR race.
Oh yeah.
Until Monday and everything. It doesn't say how far they were
That explains why it was on
back
today.
to the port. But anyway, they were going to ride it out,
Mm-hmm.
I guess. And that was a bad decision.
Uh-oh. What
Uh,
happened?
really nasty weather. They
Oof.
stayed out there. They spent 12 hours waiting to dock.
Oh my
Huge waves,
gosh.
lashing rain the whole time, and it
Seasick.
flooded one of the floors. Let's see, lower decks flooded with doors knocked off their hinges.
Oh my gosh.
Nobody got hurt, but I can't even imagine how awful that would be.
Well, hopefully they got a free
Even
something
if you're
out of it.
not seasick, you're going to get seasick.
Yeah.
On something like that.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Well,
Now I
hopefully.
don't know about the prices of cruises. If there's so much.
I don't either. You
That
maybe
may
want
be
to
the
look now.
value among values, but then some of these things, like there, decisions like that, and you go
Right.
out.
Yeah, you don't want that.
I mean, 12. I can't imagine how horrible that was. That boat just going up and up.
That would be
for
awful.
12 hours.
I hope they
Oh
got
my
something
God.
out of it, like another cruise for a week. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna look right now. I'm looking at Viking cruises and see how much they are. See if they
I think there's
listing.
so much capacity right now.
Okay,
And
so
this isn't the time of year necessarily that people cruise either.
yeah, looks like
People cruise in the winter.
2,500. If you go to the Mediterranean, 4,500. It depends where you go. I mean,
Yeah, there's a lot of those, and then also, if you're a first-time cruiser,
yeah,
you pay a price, and then there's a lot of other expenses. There's
oh god, yeah,
drink charges and tip charges,
excursion charges. You go out
and
and
every kind of charge,
oh
every
yeah,
charge.
yeah,
So just know that it's not the final price, and also these prices they quote on these reservation engines,
yeah,
they're not ever including the tax
or
and the
airfare.
tax has gotten 10 or 20% now.
Oh, it's
Of
ridiculous.
it's
Yeah,
really
it's
high.
ridiculous. And I would say sometimes depending on where you're going or leaving from, where your departure port is. If you're Florida and you live on the West Coast, you're going to pay a couple grand for airfare on top of it.
Oh yeah.
If you're West Coast and you're going to Seattle, well, you could probably drive and save yourself a couple grand, but that airfare costs too.
And there's parking if you
Oh
drive.
yeah, that's right.
You've got to pay the parking, which is cash.
That's
often.
Right. Yeah, that's
and
right.
It's pretty considerable because you're paying parking for 5 days or 7.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when
it's not insignificant.
I want to say when
it's
we went
$100 or something.
Yeah, we were over 100 for the week. When we went to Alaska, we parked. They had a port terminal, and they have the parking too. So
they have the parking there, but
yeah,
they charge you for 100.
They do. Yeah,
they do. And you didn't know about that.
No,
so
I had no idea.
You've done that right.
Yeah.
So there's all these hidden expenses that you've got these days. And I've not researched rent-a-cars, but I heard their price has not come down.
I think when we were in Nashville last, we paid 150 or 160 bucks for the day, for one day.
For the day?
For the day. Yeah. I know. Yeah. It was, and it wasn't fancy.
Used to be 160 bucks for 3 days. 3 days, 2 nights.
You got to do rent-a-wreck.
I'm telling you, I mean, I'm glad I traveled when I did. I sure couldn't afford to hang with all the big boys today.
Yeah.
As expensive as everything is.
Yeah, you're right about that.
People don't seem to, whatever.
Yeah. But part of the living expense, I guess. That's another thing, too. Talking about rising prices, I've noticed rents are going up like crazy, too. People are paying for apartments and things like that, $1,700 a month.
Yes, it's gone up $400 or $500 a month.
Isn't it
in the
crazy?
last 5 years, I'd say.
How does a single person do it? How do they?
I don't know. I mean, they've got to be getting paid more.
They must.
I just don't think they're not. In broadcasting, particularly, I don't think they're getting paid a bunch more.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine they are. I guess
it stinks. There's all kinds of stinks.
Yeah.
Here's the latest stink. I didn't even know it was a stink.
Okay, go.
The movie Little Mermaid.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Okay. Social media campaign. They did bad money in China, for example. This is all worldwide now. All these movies.
Yeah.
It said it drowned in China. Did okay domestically in the United States.
It was live action.
But in China, did terrible, and some of the others didn't make its projected goal. They think it's because the social media campaign protesting a black actress being cast as Ariel could be having an impact in Asian markets and elsewhere. I never even thought of that, but there's cultures in different things that have cultures, and I know that there were people that, for example, the Cartoon Network It's an international deal. People don't think about, CNN is a big international product.
Yeah,
It goes
100%.
all over the world. They make a lot of money being in hotels.
Mm-hmm.
Hotels pay them in foreign countries to. It's like a pay-per-view
Mm-hmm.
type deal to have
I'll be
CNN
darned.
International.
I didn't know that.
Well, places like Saudi Arabia, Muslim countries,
Mm-hmm.
they had Porky Pig as a featured person, a featured whatever it is character
Yeah.
on the Cartoon Network.
He's a Looney Tune, right?
That's not good. Muslims not into
They don't
pork.
like pork. That's right.
No,
That's a bad.
that's bad, bad
That's
juju.
right.
So
That's right.
I mean, so they had to, redo everything they were doing. Different cultures are into different things,
Yeah, I
and
never even
as
thought
and
about
as
that.
woke as people may want to be about certain things don't fly.
I imagine. I
In
imagine
these countries.
Speedy Gonzalez doesn't fly anymore. Remember that cartoon?
No,
Back in the
and
day.
that's people that have different feelings about LGBTQ in foreign countries.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's right. Different
definitely.
beliefs.
So you just have to. Everybody is not the United States,
Yeah,
for
that's
better
true.
or for worse.
But
For better
Jimmy,
or for
it's
worse.
funny that you bring that up because for a lot of people who have never left the United States, they don't know. I mean, they don't think about it. I know I don't think about it a lot. I mean, you're talking about it right now, but I'm not a world traveler. I'm not thinking about what folks in India find acceptable or not. I mean, I'm not even thinking about that. As far as I'm concerned, this is
Well,
all
this is,
we got.
and you know what, and most people it doesn't matter. But then I was thinking about your wife.
Yeah.
When she was a young girl, and that's just. I've had 3 daughters, and I think sometimes I don't know which one's crazier, the boys or the girls, but
Yeah. Well.
they would get an idea. Okay, we're going to do 30 days traveling around Europe on a train or something.
Yeah. Dangerous
I
as
mean, if
heck. Yeah.
it's so scary,
It is. Yeah.
so
It
dangerous.
is.
I
Yeah.
mean, it just in the basics of that, as romantic as that might sound,
Mm-hmm.
I guess you just don't ever take a bath.
Yeah. Right. Right. I mean,
Which
it's kind of like the movie Taken has ruined it, like Jaws did for swimming in the ocean. I mean, you see that Liam Neeson movie, you don't ever want to be by yourself in
I
Europe.
mean, this is okay. I hear the answer. I'm hearing our audience. They stay in hostels when
Yeah.
they're that age.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. Youth
I had a
hostel.
guy that he died a couple of years ago, but he was the world's oldest teenager. He was still going to hostels around the world
As
in
in
his
the
50s.
whoa.
In his 50s.
Oof.
So, but he would he had all kinds of stories about hostels.
I'm sure.
I mean, drunk people all right, a lot of times they have bunk beds
Yeah.
in those places. So you're on the bottom bunk, if you can, I think. And he said one night he was there, and the drunk booger came home that was in the top bunk,
Yeah.
and wet his pants, and it seeped through down on him, during the night.
Gross.
I mean,
that is gross.
It's just because you're with the, drunks and crazy people,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
teenagers, and doing all that.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
Yes. Yeah. See, I
But
would never.
it's like I was telling you, there's certain parts of town, unless you live in that town, you don't know there are certain parts
Yeah, that's
of
true.
town that you shouldn't be in.
That's true.
And I was looking in Nashville today where somebody did something around Brick Church Pike.
Is that a bad area?
Notorious, yes.
Okay.
Very bad. And it's not surprising that someone got shot there.
But to me, it is because I wouldn't have known. I would have said,
You
"Oh, this is
know.
beautiful."
And so that's the naivete
Yeah.
of these kids going on these 30-day things around Europe.
Sure.
Train stations are not always in the best part of town,
Right?
because they're on the fringe of town, because the tracks are on the, not in the best part. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
I thought, all right, here I paid all this money once on a romantic trip from Paris to Rome.
Sounds nice.
We're going to do the overnight train to Rome.
Yes,
because I've been watching James Bond all my
life.
Yeah,
it's pretty sexy.
And I
yeah,
said, we're going to have
you got it.
All right, and I made sure that we had our own private cabin.
Ooh, Jimmy.
Okay.
All right.
So we had our own. So all right, we leave in the afternoon, headed there. Southern France is like going through southern Tennessee. It's just there.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
just wheat fields, and it's flat.
Yeah.
Wheat fields, and didn't see anything, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And so it gets dark. So I don't know what we were doing to kill the time, but we went to bed at some point when they put the bed down for you.
Yeah.
Turned out it was bunk beds. I mean, it was the beds. The sofa was here. It folds out into a bed, and then there's another bed that comes up above you.
Oh, that's nice and romantic.
Single beds.
Yeah.
Well, I think we ended up sleeping in one bed that was a single bed,
Right.
but it wasn't quite what I had in mind. And we got up pretty early. We were like, all the good stuff we missed because the train went through in the middle of the
At
night.
night, yeah.
We missed the Alps, the northern
Oh,
Italy, and all that stuff. We're asleep and dark.
oh,
We
Jimmy.
missed all that because the train goes through that at night. And then you get to Rome, and they're starting to sleep. You're getting ready, so you're taking a bath and all that stuff. It's just you see all these people. You're going by these houses, clothes are on the back of the line. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not. I'm going to Rome.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm going to
The
see Pope out
movies.
there waving at me.
It's,
Hey,
right.
but it's not that. And it's just you've got to. It's just you can't do enough homework
Right.
to figure it all out. It's just called experience.
Yeah, no kidding. That's so funny. You said I was talking to a friend whose kid is there right now, a young man, and he's there, and he said he called the other day, and he said he just got there. He's been there for about a week. He's going to be there for 3 months the whole summer, and he said he's trying to figure out what to do. He's going to Zurich. Is he Zurich? He's somewhere.
Where?
He's in
Zurich is so boring.
That's what his dad told him. So his dad said, "What are you doing?
Zurich
That's
is
a
like
business
going to,
district."
Do like Des Moines,
right? He goes.
There's no mountains there.
There's not, and it's all business, right? All the business people go there. There's
business.
no 20-year-old kid wants to go to Zurich, but he didn't know, and so he booked an excursion to Zurich, and then he met up with some friends from his hometown, and they said, "No, we've been here for a month. We'll take you around. That you don't want to go to Zurich. You want to go to these other places," and so they're going to some other places. But if you've never been, how would you know, right? You don't know.
No, I thought it would be. I wasn't a complete idiot, and I thought when I went, okay, I'm going to Zurich. We're going to see something here. Stayed at a place called the Dolder Grand, which was a heck of a hotel.
No
doubt.
Yeah,
but we went to a nice place to eat. But it was a business place,
right?
Really, nice hotel.
Yeah, it's a business
nice
center.
place to eat.
Isn't
not what I had in mind for Switzerland?
Right.
Another time, I flew into. I said, I'm going to go. I just want to see a little bit of Switzerland.
Yeah.
And so I flew into for the night Geneva.
Oh yeah.
Well, Geneva's like being at Lake Michigan or something. I mean, it's nothing. It's the Alps. You see them way over in the distance,
but you're not
but there's
in
a
them.
big fountain up there, and the UN is there and all that. And there was some casino I went to, and I had some schnitzel or something. I don't know, but it was that was not what I had in mind.
Yeah.
So finally, on the third trip, and I went to Munich.
Germany.
Got a driver and said, because there were some places you could go.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I want to go to into the Bavaria, and then go to where Hitler's home was there. The Eagle's Nest, Berchtesgaden, I think is what it's called. And then Salzburg, that I had been to before, is right down here. So we're going to do all this in a day. And did that, and they took us through a little Alp town
where
kids were getting out of school wearing their lederhosen and all that.
Right,
said, Man, I finally saw Switzerland. And then they had this castle that I think one of the castles that they copied for Disneyland. And I saw some Switzerland finally, and then took another trip. Took a train.
Yeah,
from Salzburg to. That might have been the time we went Salzburg to Zurich, I think, and. You don't see squat.
Yeah.
I mean, you're on a train, you're hugging a mountain, but you can't see the mountain up
there
on your right.
Yeah.
Because you're a train.
Yeah. And
you'd see me if you had a helicopter following the train, you'd be able to see me.
Well,
but as for me in the train, you don't see anything.
And trains are big over there. They travel a lot on trains.
Oh, and I got to where I was traveling, a pretty good bit. This trip from London to Paris on the train.
Yeah, sounds great.
You don't see anything in southern England. You go through that tunnel. It's just dark.
It's just
all it is dark.
Okay.
And occasionally
so let me ask you this.
Train will come by you on the right.
Let me ask you, to bring it full circle. Florida was expensive. Would it be better now to go somewhere like England or Paris or Rome or Vienna or wherever you want to go overseas? It might be cost you the same as staying domestic.
I think it does cost you some money.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're bad right now.
That's what I'm saying.
Florida, Las Vegas, Nashville, Tennessee is one of the most expensive places you can visit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just really off the scale.
Oh yeah.
Expensive.
I think our last hotel there was $300.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's Disneyland for drunks.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's helpful if you can find somebody that really has been there,
Yeah.
to wherever this is, because there's so many cool places to see in London.
Yeah.
I love Paris, but there's ways to do it and there's ways not to do it.
I still gotta say, my bucket list trip to Nashville with you was fantastic. I think we were there for 4 or 5 days, whatever it was. But we had one day on our own. The rest of the time, we were guided tour with you or Brian or somebody, and it was fantastic. I mean, we got to see when people say, "Well, what did you see?" And I tell them what we saw in 5 days, and they go, "What?" I said, "Yeah, we went right to these places. We knew right where to go." So you're not wrong about that. Being with somebody who knows is
or at least
the way.
knowing or talking to somebody who's been there,
Yeah.
and listen to them.
Yes.
Don't fog over.
Don't think
Take
you know.
notes.
Yeah.
Listen to them.
Exactly.
Tell you about the trains that are good and the trains
Yes.
that are bad, and and the fact that you're carrying all this American luggage that
Mm-hmm.
people do, and I'm bad about this.
Yeah.
I'm terrible about this. And you're traveling in trains. There's nobody to help you.
Yeah.
Get the bags on and off, and so you're stuck with these bags. They better have rollers,
Yeah.
and they didn't always.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I may have had some that didn't, but if you had rollers, it'll save you. Rome, was tough trying to get a car to get away from the train to the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Finally got a taxi, but it was small. It was because these cars are little over there.
Yeah.
I'm a big person. I'm 6'3".
Yeah, that's
and they're
true.
not made for me.
Yeah.
London, there's a lot of places to get in trouble. Not get murdered.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But get your purse stolen, or you get your wallet snatched,
petty theft,
or something like that. That's the kind of trouble that's most likely you're going to get in these places.
Yeah.
You don't get murdered, any more than you would anywhere else.
Yeah, sure.
But you don't want to be a victim of and girls. Oh my God, girls running around, in these places where you wouldn't even go. It scares me to death.
But if they've never been, they don't know, so they're right in the heart of it.
They're cocksure and ready to. As a father of 3 daughters and 3 granddaughters, I'm telling you, they have no fear. They don't. Girls are. I don't know about guys. Never raised one, but I've raised 3 daughters, and man, they got confidence. Most of them.
Oh yeah.
And they'll go in there and they'll just go right into the mouth of the lion.
Dragon. Yeah.
Don't think anything about it. They'll get their little backpack and off they go.
Right. Right.
No but anyway, it's just travel is a great thing. I was thinking about. They said show the Interior Department today getting Bryce Canyon ready for everybody in the tourist season. But there's so much to know to have a good trip. You really need to find a website, or there's Peter, whatever his name is, actually is pretty good, that does the travel. I don't remember, but you need to find the place that really looks like they've got some sense and are not being paid by somebody.
Yeah, they're just doing it on their own. Yeah,
they're doing it as an independent person, and the books are too hard. There are great videos. I got talked off and taken this train out west because I watched the YouTube. He shot the whole thing.
Yeah,
just about.
And you said, forget it.
And I thought, ooh, this isn't exactly what I thought it was going to be.
There's a lot online you can watch. I mean, you can virtually go
Everything's on YouTube now. It's amazing.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
So do that, and there are people give you the self-guided tour of this and this and this, and just see about it and read about it.
Yeah, no doubt.
But the expense that hits you in the head. And I hadn't thought about the angle of just running up credit cards, but it's got to be something like that.
It's got to be. And if you're going to travel at all, just try not to do that. Save up for the trip and go, because you're going to rack up on the credit card once you get there.
But just spent almost $1,000 doing nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. I've become a big fan of the staycation on the holidays, where you just stay here.
No, you should. I mean, I was not trying to get to where everybody was.
Yeah,
and they were.
Was it crowded?
I didn't. I mean, I snuck through places in the morning. I got stuck in the middle of the day and won.
Yeah,
but I was staying out of the hubbub for the most part. Going through the back roads, getting into the restaurants.
Yeah,
I was going into the Big Bend portion of Florida.
Yeah,
that used to be uninhabited. Well, that's changed.
You go. It's all
people have discovered it in the last 5 years. It was way too quiet. But yeah, I just kind of educating myself on what a few things were. But
yeah, no doubt.
There's not many places in the country where people aren't anymore.
Yeah, you're right about that.
They're there.
You're right about that.
And these hotel prices, if you haven't looked, are just shocking.
Yeah, they're not afraid to charge you.
Really, they're shocking now because they've got to charge more.
Yeah.
Nobody has enough help.
Let me ask you this too, and wrapping it up here, but the product isn't as good. I feel like when we stay.
No. If you stay, I say 2 nights at the Hilton Garden Inn, and they don't clean your room.
Right, and they're damaged.
They claim it was COVID, but it's bull.
Oh, COVID's
it's because they don't have the maids they used to. To be able to do all that. So no, none of these places are as clean
as they used to,
or as or keep your room as clean as they used to. That is one post-COVID thing that they're doing,
and it's too bad.
Yeah, it is, and it's just. I mean, they'll give you another. I just don't like that. That was one of the reasons why, and it beat me. So I'd change hotels every day, just so I'd have a clean room every day.
Yeah, Charlotte sent me a picture of a cockroach crawling across the wall in her hotel room that was $300+ a night. And I just thought, go down to the desk, tell them, they all have cockroaches probably, but go down there and tell them you want a different room. Move to another room. But it's just crazy the price they charge for what you get. For what you get.
It's 40 or 50% more.
Yeah, that's crazy.
For just about everything. So
Jimmy,
if you're planning a trip, try to. I think you need to drive. I mean, you can't drive to some things, but
well, if you want to get there.
I liked having my car. That was
right.
I know I'm running enough miles on it. And it's
but you paid for that. You paid to use it. I mean, you don't have to rent a car. You don't have to fight the airport, and you're 4 hours away.
No, I just don't want to do that anymore. That's why I haven't gone on any big trips. I don't want to get out there with all these crazy people, like the Asiana flight the other night.
Right.
Where the guy opens the door.
Yeah, hello.
Which I learned you can do, apparently.
Evidently.
In the last little bit.
I thought it sucked people out, but evidently if you're low enough.
Well, it was like the last, they were below 1,000 feet.
Yeah.
So they were almost landed.
Yeah, no thank you. I think I'll just stay home and I'll listen to this free podcast. It's free. You don't have to pay.
I mean, it's like they said in the old Statler Brothers song.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit around playing solitaire and watch Captain Kangaroo.
I love it. That's going to do it for us this week on Sweeping the Country. Until next time when we do it all again, I'm Derek Walker. He is.
I'm Jimmy Carter.
Good day.